Thank you. Welcome back to the special meeting of the Hauppauge Union Free School District Board of Education. Today is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. We are back from our executive session. We said the pledge prior to going into executive session, but we will do it again because you can never have too much America. Rise. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Number 4 on the agenda is a discussion item, regionalization. Do any board members want to discuss at all the topic of regionalization? Mr. Michaels?
Thank you.
If it's not, please put it on.
Green light on, just tap it. Kathy's here, hold up. Yes, easy.
Slow down.
Yeah, just saying a couple words. I just think the regionalization initiative gives us no choice. I feel that we should move forward with an Article 78. I know that I feel this leaves us no other option. The local control of our school district, I think, hinges on us taking this stand. And I think, as a board, I urge the whole board to move forward with the Article 78.
Thank you. Any further discussion from any board members concerning regionalization? Okay. With that, number 5 on the agenda is a resolution. I'll read it into the record. Be it resolved that the district hereby retains the law firm of Regano, LLC as special counsel regarding the New York State Education Department emergency rule regarding regionalization at the hourly rate of $350 for partners, $275 for associates, and $75 for paralegals. Legal fees to be shared equally by all school district clients and contingent upon the proceeding having an individual taxpayer, at least one, as a petitioner. Hereby authorizes myself, the president of the board, to execute a retainer letter on the above terms, and also to appoint the school attorney, Mr. Barnosky and his firm, as liaison between the district and Regano, LLC. Do I have a motion to adopt that resolution? Thank you, Mr. Scrito. I will second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 7-0 unanimous. Thank you. Also on regionalization, I'm going to form an ad hoc committee entitled Regionalization. I'm going to appoint Ms. Collins, Mr. Michaels, myself, and Mr. Scarito as alternates, myself and Mr. Scarito as alternates to the committee, as well as Dr. Murphy, Ms. Bilski, and Mr. Tasman to the committee. And I'm going to appoint Mr. Michaels and Ms. Bilski as temporary co-chairs of that committee. And I ask that the committee meet with the intention of setting an agenda for further meetings, as well as to elect permanent chairs for that committee. My strong hope is that Mr. Michaels and Ms. Bilski share that responsibility as permanent chair of that committee. And just report back to the board after you have your meeting and let us know who the permanent chairs are. Questions and comments from the community concerning anything related to the district whatsoever? You're first.
It's a pleasure to address you, and I'm so happy to hear about the plan to engage in an Article 78 lawsuit. I just want to note this one thing that you might want to consider regarding this lawsuit is that if in a hypothetical world it turns out regionalization is a grand success and actually everything is fantastic, I still would oppose it. And the reason is because of the process, and everything has to be done the right way because you're setting a horrible precedent that in the future something nefarious, even if this isn't nefarious, you don't know yet, of course, how it would be implemented. You don't want to give that type of power away, and that's really what I wanted to say about that matter. Something unrelated, if possible, I just wanted to note something that happened in Hauppauge Hills. where I actually live in alma mater, Hauppauge Hills. There was a senior who apparently, and there's a similar policy here. There was a senior who was a member of the student body, and was last president, and she painted a parking spot, with a watermelon, the words "Peace be upon you" in Arabic, and her name, the words "Peace be upon you" and then her name in Arabic. And someone complained, thinking that the watermelon was a sign of support for Hamas. Came out that she was, in fact, it was a political watermelon. I just want to make sure that, and there was a huge protest within the Hauppauge district, and lots of animosity between all sides. Just that the Hauppauge community should never be faced with such a thing, and that you have very clear guidelines about what is acceptable, what is not acceptable regarding matters such as murals and public art. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Yes? If you don't mind coming up to the lectern.
So I will preface by saying I will not violate anyone's privacy, okay? My daughter is in UPK. She is a Hauppauge School District student. I understand that scope is separate. I found out only because I went to brunch with Kelly and other moms this weekend about what's been going on in my daughter's class. 6 weeks ago, a new student was there for a week and was so violent and harmful to others, causing a ridiculous learning environment, unsafe, that he had to be removed and evaluated, and is now being allowed in to
Hang
speak.
on 1 second, just to be extra careful. I'm going to direct that the camera be shut off to the extent that it's broadcasting, and on advice of counsel to the extent that it's broadcasting.
Hi, I'm just going to try to help them out in the situation and asking a couple of questions. Do I need to say name or anything?
Wait, whoa, hang on. Do you need to say your name?
Yeah, do I have to?
No.
Okay. Does the fact that Scope runs the program, does that affect how Hauppauge handles discipline? Is it the same process as...
Can you hold that question for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Do you mind going back on, please? Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Does the fact that Scope runs the program, does that affect how Hauppauge handles discipline? Is it addressed the same as if it was a kindergarten class with a kindergarten? Is there a different process?
Dr. Murphy? Or our attorneys, thank you.
There are some distinctions very similar to student discipline under 3214 of the Education Law, which applies K to 12. Very similar procedure.
Would you be able to kind of let me know, like, is it roughly the same, or this way I can look up the law? I did not look up that law, I
Education
will
Law
look it up.
3214, if you want to do some research on its face, does not apply to pre-K, but our firm has always taken the position that to suspend, discipline a pre-K student, we should use the analogous due process rights under 3214.
Okay. If a child has a one-on-one aide in pre-K and that aide is not there, how would it be handled if they are required to have a one-on-one aide for educational or discipline reasons?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, and before you repeat it, just want to let you know, our code of conduct does apply equally to pre-K,
It does.
UPK, and
Okay.
any kid in the district, yes.
Applies to visitors.
Everyone, yeah.
Okay.
You, me, Mr. Collins, everyone.
If a child has a one-on-one aide in pre-K, how is it handled if that aide is missing? Like, does the child still go? Do they find emergency? Because I also know that aides can be very hard to find and subs can be very hard to find. How is that handled with that situation if a child has one-on-one?
The goal would be to get in a sub that day, like we do with a teacher.
But if by the time the class started and there's nobody available,
So the question is, in the situation where there is no one available to be that one-on-one aide, how do we handle it?
when that class starts, how is that handled?
We would get coverage, although we haven't had that situation.
Okay. Do you know in that scope class, what is the ratio of students to teachers to aides?
Was it 1811?
Not at that age. It's
We have a
18-1-1 and
maximum.
4-year-olds?
We have 18 students with a teacher and a TA.
Are you asking us to a specific classroom? Is that?
To the scope universal pre-K, because I did not know if you could fully answer it, because I did not know if you run the scope class. I'm trying to help them out, but I'm trying to get the legal ways and leaving all names and information away.
Do you want to join us for our meeting?
That's up to them. They asked me to.
I'm inviting you, so.
Well, you can also have your own meeting.
They don't have nothing to do.
Either way, the point is that if we don't know the answers right this second, you'll get the
I'm sure,
answers
yeah.
after.
Classes are up to 18 as
18, okay. And that's 18 to one teacher and no aides, right?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further? Yes?
Hi, thank you, Board. I know some of you, I've received a response from you, Ms. Bilski, whether or not it was copy paste, that doesn't matter. Mr. Scarito, I've worked with you on deals before. I'm in real estate, a local mom, and a veteran, or a spouse of a veteran here in Hauppauge, so thank you so much. I moved here some 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago now, because the school's in Hauppauge. I'm a realtor. You know how much people look at school districts when they're moving, sir, right? I did my due diligence. I looked at 84 houses in Smithtown, Dix Hills, Hauppauge, and we came to Hauppauge to reside here. We came here for the taxes and the schools. So when I now have 2 children who are going to be in the school district, I expect it to function well. I expect it to function with a safe environment for my daughter and an environment where she is not exposed to sexual harassment or to know what any genitalia is because of another child exposing himself in class. That being said, I feel like the decisions of scope to enroll kids in our classrooms that have not been, whether they're vetted or otherwise, do not have the behavioral standard or the readiness to be integrated into a classroom setting is affecting our teacher. They're affecting my child. They're affecting 14 other students. And their safety is my priority as a mother. That is my number one goal. This is my most precious gift from God. And I do not approve of a child coming in, disrupting the class so much that we have to call scope directors. We have to call the Board of Education. We have to call the president. We have to call the principal of the school. And to not actually get a response or a call from anybody but a copy-pasted email is a little concerning to me, because I did my due diligence in moving to this community and moving to this neighborhood and in making sure that my kids were going to be in good school districts, because I looked at the school district's record of advocating for their students and advocating for their community. I expect better. I expect to be reached out to when a child poses a threat in my child's classroom by someone more than just the teacher, who has been fantastic in giving decorum, kindness, and trying to provide answers on how we can best address this for the protection of every child. Because a child who can't function in a classroom, you're doing him a disservice by leaving him here and leaving him there without proper resources, regardless of what the situation is. If he has an IEP, if he needs counseling, if he needs therapy, he's out there hanging, and he's in a classroom where he cannot integrate. And that is our job as a district to handle that. But it's not our job to leave him in a class with 14 other students who are in harm's way. If 3 people cannot address one child, you are taking their attention away from 14 other students who deserve an education, they deserve instruction, they deserve safety, and an educational experience for the entire day, not for an hour in the beginning and a half an hour at the end when these children leave. It is not acceptable, and I expect you to do better.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments from the community concerning anything related to the district whatsoever? All right, back to the agenda for a moment. There's one more resolution which I accidentally skipped over. Yes. Oh, yes. I can't hear you, I'm sorry. No, just speak loud.
With this reorganization of it,
Yes.
how did we get here?
How did we get
Yeah, I
here?
know Dr. Murphy was having a meeting last, meeting that we had here, getting together with other superintendents and finding out what direction he's going to go. Are you guys want to discuss this tonight a little bit, or? I'm just trying to get some facts.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dr. Murphy, do you mind just giving a 1,000-mile?
Yeah, so
view?
in September, we learned from the state that we had to, our data coordinators were called to a meeting to begin gathering data for a strengths and needs tool, which is a survey that we need to fill out. That was one of the first times we learned that that was part of a larger conversation, regionalization. Since then, we've received, the state has a website, there's different guidance documents. We've been required to participate in conversations. The guidance documents speak about having a plan in the region. So for us, that's Eastern Suffolk BOCES, be one of 37 plans, 37 BOCES. That's something that would come to pass in the spring. In the meantime, there's steps we need to be a part of. But there's a lot of concern out there that why this has kind of gained a ton of momentum on the island is there was a lot left unsaid in the guidance documents, in the regulation itself. It was an emergency regulation. So we've been talking about this quite a bit here in Hauppauge, and just to kind of fast forward, what you heard tonight from the board is that we're joining with other districts and an attorney who's representing to argue against this effort from the state. So that's the gist of it, but I'm happy to stick around and talk to you a bit more about it. We also have a section of the website, Mr. Augusta, with some information and guidance documents as well.
Is this something that we can opt out on? Are they gonna hold state aid against us for doing such a thing? Or, this district knocked down their budget? So is it on our shoulders to divvy out everything that we're paying for to make what we came here for?
And you just crystallized the entire problem, is we're not sure, we don't know. So that's where we are, yes.
So,
Question.
Yes.
You said the fees for all that, but I think some school districts were combining together to get a lawyer. Is it cheaper?
that's what
That's
we're
what
doing.
this is.
Oh,
We-
We're part of that effort.
Okay.
And we've been told that we can opt out of the final plan, but it's not understood what that exactly means, and that's part of the concern.
Is it the ransom?
Yes,
I know that there's a lawsuit from Long Island districts, but they're exempting as part of the regionalization, only the big 5 districts.
Correct.
So what about Westchester and North Country and the rest of the state? Do you know if there's a coordination of the lawsuit with all these other parts of the state? Because I can imagine it's not only Long Island that opposes this.
Ms. Michaels?
If you want me to answer, they are, the group that brought this is the Coalition of School Board Members. They have been talking to regional people throughout, but I'm not aware that any of those upstate districts or Westchester have approached the coalition to join the lawsuit at this point. So we can't speak any further.
There were 30 some odd districts at the meeting last night. They were all Nassau and Suffolk. But there was talk that there is an effort to mobilize Lower Hudson Valley and Westchester. Yes?
It could work for upstate schools, that's where it originated. The problem is that once we get the foot in it, it could be horribly abused for us down here. Certain districts in upstate New York can't have, say you're a health teacher, you're split between, say, Hauppauge and Smithtown, they can make that teacher full-time between the 2 districts. So it came with a good idea, that it could be completely abused down here, and there's no need for it really on Long Island. But in certain districts, they literally don't have a budget in certain upstate towns, but that should completely cut upstate and not go down to Long Island at all.
Any further questions from the community concerning anything related to the district whatsoever? Yeah. All right, back to the second resolution that I inadvertently skipped. This is a resolution for the Board of Education meeting of today, November 19th, 2024. Yeah, can I have a motion to adopt the resolution? Mr. Michaels, thank you. Do I have a second? Ms. Collins, thank you. Gene, do I need to read this into the record?
It's in the agenda if the public wants it.
It's in, yeah.
It's authorizing this law firm to bring a lawsuit seeking to challenge the emergency regulation promulgated by the Commission of Education.
How does this relate to the resolution 1, which was the hiring of Regano? Is it just authorizing the litigation?
Yes, because the commission has held that in order to affirmatively commence litigation, the school board must have an affirmative resolution to that effect.
Okay. So that resolution, it's 4 or 5 paragraphs. It's set forth in the agenda. The agenda is over there behind Mr. Boscarino and also online, if anyone is interested in reading it. Any discussion on resolution number 2? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 7-0. Any questions or comments from the community concerning the second resolution? Very good. With that, I'll take a motion for an adjournment. Our next meeting is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. It is a business meeting. I will make a motion for the adjournment. Mr. Scarito seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? 7-0. Thank you. God bless the United States and God bless Hauppauge.